One of the most common questions is, how can I increase my semen volume? Well, we're going to teach you all about semen. How does your body make it? What happens when you ejaculate, and why would you have a decreased semen volume? Does it bother your partner? And lastly, what are ways to increase your semen volume? Let's get to it. So semen comprises several components. Of course, everyone knows about sperm, which is made in the testes. So what percent of semen do you think is actually made up of sperm? Pause right now, comment below, and let us know what your guess is. It's 5. So only 5 of your entire semen volume is sperm. Many people might think, if their semen volume is less than someone else's, that maybe their sperm is not working as well if they're not as fertile as someone else. Well, that's untrue. The other components that make up your sperm include your prostate, which makes prostatic secretions, which work to kind of nourish and transport, or help make the sperm mobile, and that is about 20 to 30 of the semen volume. And then the largest portion is from the seminal vessel, which is about 60 to 70, and these are these two structures that are behind the prostate. And they hold the semen in them, and last, right before your ejaculation, a tiny amount comes from these tiny little glands right next to the urethra, or the P-tube, called the bulbourethral glands. Also, you may wonder, how do some people have a more forceful ejaculation, while some people may notice more of a dribble? Well, that's because you have these muscles around the urethra called the bulbocavernosus muscle. And when you ejaculate, this form kind of rhythmic contraction, which causes the semen to propel or force forward. And these muscles can be stronger in some, and/or in others, and so that differentiates the force of the semen volume coming out. So now that you know what's normal and how your body works, you may wonder, why am I going to ruin my relationship? If the force of my ejaculate is weak, or the volume is low, well, in 2018, they did a study of 240 women, and they asked them a bunch of questions about how they felt about their partner ejaculate, and how that played into their sexual pleasure. And what they found was that the large majority of women didn't care how much volume or force was behind the ejaculate. Only 17 of the women said that their orgasm was stronger if their partner's orgasm was also noticeably strong and even smaller. Number 13 felt that maybe they were less attractive, and that's why their partner wasn't having a strong ejaculation. So they had some self-esteem concerns because of their partner's ejaculate volume. So overall, I would say, if you're worried about this, don't. The large majority of people are happy, especially if both parties are climaxing. There's nothing to complain about. So why does semen volume decrease? Well, if you look at men over their entire age range, you'll find that the men who have the strongest and most voluminous ejaculate are those in their 30s. And then it continues to decline over age, and several factors play into this. It can include the weakness of their muscles and their diet, some lifestyle factors like smoking, and other medical problems that can play a role as well. Interestingly, even day to day, your semen volume can vary because of several things. How hydrated you are, potentially how much stress you're under, and what medications you're on. But what if you notice a sudden drop in your semen volume that doesn't go away? What do you do? What are some causes of this? Well, you might have an obstruction in the tube that carries the semen to the urethra for the ejaculation, called the ejaculatory duct, or you may have low testosterone. Other things that can cause us are certain medications, which are the most common, which is tassinor-flow, and we often prescribe that to patients who has an enlarged prostate and might have difficulty emptying their bladder and have urinary symptoms, and this causes retrograde ejaculation. And what that is, when you ejaculate instead of moving forward, it actually goes back into the bladder and then you pee it out later. And as this is one of the side effects of that medication, it can also be a side effect of diabetes, certain neurologic diseases, or spinal cord injuries. So if you're experiencing a sudden change, make sure you see a urologist. Make sure you are not suffering from one of these causes. Now, in 4 ways that you can increase your semen volume. We're going to give you the first 3, which may help a bit, and the fourth way, which has been proven to increase semen volume. So make sure you stick around to the end. Number 1. Quit smoking is a horrible habit. Not only is it related to lung cancer and causes lung problems, it can as well cause bladder cancer and be associated with erectile dysfunction. So, if you want to keep your strong erections, quit smoking and don't smoke, and, in theory, it causes some nerve damage that causes decreased production of the secretions that create semen volume. So, just another reason to get rid of that nasty habit. Number 2. Hydrate. Just like any other substance, our body makes you need a lot of hydration and fluid to make sure you're making a large amount. So make sure you're getting enough fluid. We know a good way to check is to look at your urine. If your urine is like a lemonade light yellow, you're very well hydrated. Number 3. Do Kegel exercises. I don't think Kegel exercises are right for every single person. But if you don't have urinary symptoms, pelvic pain, and erectile dysfunction as a young person, these exercises may be really helpful for you. And what they do is strengthen those pelvic floors muscles, including the buccal muscle. Makes the force of the ejaculation stronger, so you're more completely emptying your semen volume. So, while you're not making more, you're just getting more of it out, so nothing gets left behind. Before we move on to number 4, we say that there are no FDA-approved supplements to increase your semen volume. So a lot of supplements will say, yes, we'll increase your semen volume. You'll see, it is 100%. But we don't have any good data that there is one magic supplement that's going to do. Number 4. The most surefire way to increase your semen volume is to ejaculate less frequently. The reason is if you have more time between ejaculation, you'll have more time to fill up the tank. A study took 27 guys. They collected semen samples from them every month for 16 months, and they asked them how long they'd waited, or been abstinent before ejaculation, and collected all of them data, and they looked at the variations in semen volume. And what they found was that for each day a person remained abstinent or waited to ejaculate, they increased their semen volume by 10%. And if you look at those that waited for 4 days or less, it was 12% on each of those days. And after 4 days, it went down to about 7 to 8%. So yeah, absolutely. If you wait a couple of days, you will have more semen volume when you ejaculate. Alright, that's it. Thank you so much for watching today, and as always, remember to take care of yourself because you're worth it.